Hey everyone, it's Audrey from Audrey Lynn Studios on the west side of Canada. Today I have a make-along for you. It's the pedestal bowl. So it looks like this. I'll bring it a little closer. It's hand built. And I find that these sell really well. Anyway, this tutorial that I'm showing you, I did a while ago, and I did it with Laguna Calico clay. This is Georgie's, oh no it's not. This is Plainsman Coffee clay. So, so that's the only difference in this, between this bowl and the other bowl, is the clays. It's made exactly the same way. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is my Shimpo, which is now Nordic, slab roller, and I love it. It's so solid. This table is just solid. The roller's solid. Everything's solid. Love it. And I have my 2 canvas sheets. This one is for my light clay, so nothing red or chocolate brown. I don't put anything like that on here. I have a different set of canvas sheets for my colored clay. So this is Laguna Calico. Truthfully, I am trying to use it up because it is really groggy, and yeah, I just don't like throwing with it. I'd rather throw with Plainsman 340S. It's softer, even though it has specks and so on. But it turns out lovely. This particular block is really stiff because I've left it so long, so I won't even attempt to throw with this. It's all hand built. So I'm going to, oh yeah, that's really stiff. Give it a little squeeze, stick it in there. And I'm going to layer my pieces, overlap them. Like that. And the pedestal bowl that I'm making is quite large, so I'm going to be using this whole block. So leave it in your comments if you have a slab roller or how you roll out your clay. I'd be interested to know. Okay, let's and then I'm going to overlap this way as well. See that? Give it a little push. Ooh, missed that one. There. And I have this little bit on the end. I'll just stick it on the end here, on the bottom. Oh, it is stiff. So because it is so stiff, and I want to be nice to my slab roller, which it could totally handle it, but you know, why create the extra wear and tear? That's what I say. Get these crunchies off and flip the canvas over. So now I roll a couple times at the height that I'm at. I'm not really sure why it's I'll just be going too fast, and because the clay is so stiff. So I'm just going little by little because it is really strong right at this point. Well, not for me, just that the clay is so stiff. So if this is boring you, just look ahead. But right about a couple more turns. Yeah, right about here, I'm going to just reposition my clay slab because it is growing long, right? And I need some width. I mean, of course it's growing wide as well, but more long than wide at this point. So I'm just going to lift that, lift my clay, and reposition it. And continue. Oops. People ask me, have you made sugar cookies with your roller? I'm like, no, but you could. You just have to use different cloth for sure. Roll out your cookie dough. So I'm going to be rolling to just a smidge over 1/4 inch, and I have a little gauge here that is telling me that where I'm at. And I'm going to go a little bit slower because as the surface area gets bigger and bigger, you're creating more surface area, it gets a little more difficult to roll, and I want it as even as possible. So I'm not worried about me, I'm just worried about my clay. Let's see, just a little bit more. Yeah, just one more little. Let's try that. And then I'll check it. I think I'm going to just send it through one more time because I feel some resistance right in the center, which of course you're going to get. All right. There we go.
Are you done?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, and now this I can't use anyway at this point. Take those off and release my clay a little bit from the canvas. Okay, well I'm not going to because it's stuck on there, so that's okay because I'll be flipping it and so it'll be released from the canvas. Okay, so let me bring it closer. Okay, so this is my favorite rib for smoothing and compressing, and I'll leave a link for that. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to smooth away that canvas texture. and compress the clay. Now, yes, the clay has been compressed somewhat by going through the roller, but this is just more compressing to get the platelets going the same direction, or to compress the platelets, I mean. I was thinking of glass there for a minute. So, so compress the platelets even more. There, nice and smooth. Okay, so what I do now is use my broadcloth, just inexpensive broadcloth from the fabric store. And I lay it on top. This just allows me to keep that surface nice and smooth and to be able to flip it on my own. So, okay, let me grab a piece of wood. Here's my wood. Nice thick piece, smooth on one side, not on the other. Okay, smooth side down on my slab. Make sure it's on there. Yeah, it's mostly covering. All right, and then I am going to flip it. There. Gently roll it off. Okay, so you see I can then flip this heavy piece of clay all by myself with ease. So let's move this. And get my smoothing rib and smooth this side and compress the platelets even more. What's really lovely about, well, this clay and just generally speckled clay about doing these bowls is that you don't have to glaze the outside, right? And the outside looks lovely. All right, here we go. Ready to work with. Okay, I have a bisque mold that I made from my friend's bisque mold. And but you can use, like, for instance, Chinese stir-fry wok to either make a bisque mold or build your bowl in there. This one I love because it's nice and shallow. It's very organic looking. You can see that, and it's very popular. If I can think of other forms that you can use, I'll put it in the description. Okay, so I'm going to put my bowl down here, and I'm going to want to cut around the bowl, but I'll maybe about that far, and that's because I have some depth here. We have to make sure that we account for the depth of the bowl. And let's see, I would say, and I'd like to place this so I could get some foot material out of it, if I can, right? Otherwise I'll just have to roll out again. So let's try there. And let's cut out, I would say that's probably 1-2 inches. It might be more than I need, but you know, more than you need is better than less than you needed. Oh, Doobie, just a minute. Okay. Good. So I will just take this excess off here. This is a good foot section here, and I can get some out of here as well. So let's put these over here. And actually let's cut this off so it's easier to move. Put it aside. And same with this. We can peel off of here now and put it aside. Great. Now, I'm going to just give this bisque mold a little bit of a cornstarch dusting. And I want to smooth out all those big clumps of cornstarch because they will show on the back. Okay, so you could even take this, you know, to the garbage or throw it back in here. I'm going to take mine outside and just wipe off the cornstarch. Okay, so this is my bowl now. Taking out all the cornstarch clumps. I'll just smooth out some of these marks that I made. There we go. Okay. And then lay this piece in my mold. And I'm going to just fold it up a little bit. Fold up and push down with both hands, hey, like that. So we're trying not to stretch the bottom. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer. There. So fold it up and push it down. Trying not to stretch the bottom too much because then you just make it thinner and it loses its integrity. So fold up, push down till you know that it's touching. And then you can start working it against the sides of the bowl. See, I did cut a lot of extra. That's okay. It's better that. And really, if you wanted to, you could just like leave it like this, right? For a roughly bowl. But that's not what I'm making today, so. Okay. Good. Nice. Then I'm going to take my soft rib, soft red rib from MUDTOOLS that I can probably link, and give it a nice smooth. Make sure it's all smoothed out and formed to the inside of the bowl. The bisque mold, I mean. And then I'm just going to go up here a little bit because I know I want to, going to be cutting off. Where am I going to cut off now? Yeah, I always cut off. I'll show you where I usually cut off this bowl. All right. It's good. So now we take our needle tool and yeah, maybe rather than cutting off everything on your first cut, you can take off your excess first. And you can totally leave your bowl like this, having a little lip on it like that. I usually don't, but you can. Wonder if I should. Yeah, why not, right? Usually I cut it like right down flush with the mold, but hey, let's try something different today. Nice, good. And this I will put into a bowl spritzed with water and keep it nice and moist. All right, let's grab a sponge. Okay, I'm using the MUDTOOLS sponge because it's made for groggy clay. If you use a regular sponge, then it kind of pulls up the grog, whereas this does a decent job of keeping the grog down. And we're just going to smooth out that edge. You can burnish with your finger, best burnisher there is. There we go. Nice. So you can see how organic this rim is. So now I would say you can use your thumbnail, but you can, or your needle tool, and just release it from that bisque mold, just in case it's stuck on there a little too much, and so that it doesn't crack as it shrinks. If it gets hung up on that bisque mold, then it will crack. So I just take my thumbnail with, you know, all of a centimeter's worth, because I can't stand having long fingernails. I think it has to do with being like an artist, creator, blah, blah, blah. I need to feel things with the flesh on the ends of my fingers. And as soon as I can't feel it the way I want to, it's like those nails come off. There we go. So now as it shrinks, it'll not get hung up. And you can just smooth out with your finger all the little areas and let it sit there until it gets leather hard. So you do have to keep testing it, but it shouldn't take too long. So this is the pedestal bowl drying in the bisque mold, and you can see how much it has shrunk already. And that's why I use my fingernail to lift it from the bisque mold, because if it's stuck to the bisque mold, that bowl would be cracking for sure. So what I'm going to do now is get my foam trimming. I'll show you just a minute. Okay, so this is my foam trimming bat, and it's XIEM tools. And you get the foam and then you glue it onto your own bat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is lay that foam bat upside down on the bowl and then turn it over. There. So I think I'm just going to leave it for just a few more minutes. It's been in here for about 2.5 hours, but of course that depends on the humidity in your studio and all of that. So I'm just going to leave it on here for a couple more minutes because I don't want it to collapse as I put the pedestal on. All right. Okay, I have my piece of scrap clay from the slab that I rolled, and I'm going to cut a foot. So I'm going to use my ruler and cut straight up and down on this side. And then I'm going to lightly mark the other side because I want a taller foot than this ruler. So if you see, I've marked the center with a black Sharpie. So I'm going to line up that center line with that light mark I just made and then cut there. So that gives me an even foot about the size that I want. And so I will, well, actually I can just kind of extend it here. Let's see, did it cut through? Yeah. Let's just, we'll cut off that later, but so I can use this as my template because I know that that's not going to be enough of enough length. It might be close, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So I'll just do that, line it up. Yeah, good. And then put my ruler on top so that I don't end up going right through my clay, like, because I want it to be very, very straight and consistent. There we go. Nice. And we can just cut this off here because this is going to be more than we need. And I'll show you how we're going to deal with that. All right. All this will go into the bowl with water on it so we can work with it later. Great. Let's go over to the wheel. Okay, so I have my bowl on the wheel. I'm just going to make sure I've got it. I mean, it's pretty easy to center it on this thing because it's so big and the wheel is round. So it looks like it's good. Now I have two pieces. I like my pedestal to be about there. Okay, you can put it out here, but then you will need another pedestal in here. I like the way it looks if it's like about there, and I have two pieces here that are going to work fine for that. So it's going to be right around there, something like that. And I'm going to take my serrated rib and just score that. There we go. No, we're going to coil it, so you don't need to do it really, you know, cross hatch it again. All right, and then we're going to take our foot, score that. Great. And then I'm going to just grab a brush because I forgot one. I'm going to put some slip of the same clay, which is the Laguna Calico, on here. And here. That should be good. All right, so let's turn that over and line it up. There, something like that. Good. Now our next piece, I'll score it first. Are you able to, do I have you, maybe just a little higher? There we go. So I'll score it first. And slip it. Just going to set it over here until I slip this here. Okay. So then we're going to line that up on there. Now, we're going to have to cut. Well, I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to cut, would you? Right? You could use it as a design feature, really. Huh. I just thought about that. What if I move that over there, put this one on the inside and that one on the outside? Well, look at that. Why don't we do that? That's kind of fun. What do you think about that? I like that. It's actually working out so even. Those ends are here, those ends are here. This is in the middle of the bowl. I mean, it's kind of meant to be, don't you think? All right, so like just for safety's sake then, I'm going to mark this and mark this and score. Just to be sure. Stick them together. I guess sometimes, you know, sometimes you just work on the fly, right? That's not what I planned, but in this case, it worked out perfectly. Usually I have a long enough foot that I just use one length, but I didn't have that this time, so. And that's going to work out really cute because I wanted to put a button on there anyway. And that's just going to look really cute. Okay, so let's line that up. And squeeze out all of the air. Nice. Good. And do that again. Now I would use my serrated rib, but I really want a deep score here. So I'm just going to take the time to use my needle tool. put a generous amount of slip on there. Okay, let's line that up again. Yep. Roll that air and water out of there. Nice. Okay, so now you're going to want to have this in the round, right? I'm just going to see how close we are. Yeah, we're close. That's good. So what I like to do is, well, this one will probably do. Take a bowl and just get it in the round a little bit. Okay, good. Right, now let's take our brush. I'm going to put a coil in here. But right now I'm just brushing the seams. That one looks like it went out a little bit. I don't want that. And especially these seams we made on the side. These ones right here. You want to smooth those out. And you can keep an eye on them as they dry for sure. All right, good. That's pretty round. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to put a coil in here. I'm going to grab, one moment, I'm just going to grab some soft clay. Okay, I have my soft clay and I'm going to roll myself a coil. It doesn't have to be one continuous coil, it can be pieces. Okay, I'm going to do that over here. We're not looking, just a minute. So much easier to roll on a flat surface. All right, and I'm going to take my serrated rib, and well, you can't see on that side, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a score. Outside and inside. There we go. All right, and then some slip. Take our coil. Stick it on there without distorting your rim. Oh, look how well that fit in there. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, it fit perfectly here too. Look at that. No, I won't be able to do it again. That's so funny. All right. There. Well, almost. Yeah, almost. See? Good. All right. Nice. I'll just give that a little. All right, and I'm just going to use my finger and flatten it out a little bit. I'm not distorting anything, so that's good. Great, and I'm just going to leave that like that for a minute because I'm going to put coils on the inside. Okay. Just a little bit right there. All right. Good. So then we're going to do the same thing, just kind of gently push in there. Great. And you can push out here with the other one. Now I do have some tools here. You know, you get these with your kits. This one's just narrower than this one. So I'm using the bigger one right now to push in a little bit for me. Don't know if I can show you that or not. Oh yeah, a little bit I can. Like that. There. Okay. And you just keep working that in. Now I'll probably get a little bit of water to help me along here. Just a little bit though. I don't want to trap any water in here. There we go. Let's do this on this side. So you can see it better then. There, something like that, right? Okay, let's just take my finger with some water on and smooth out. Okay, it's getting there. So I'm just going to work on that some more to get it just the way that I want it so it looks all nice and blended. And you'll notice that this is not collapsing because I let it dry enough. But you really do have to just watch it because you can let it dry too much, right? So if you put the foot on too early, then the thing can collapse. Put it on too late, then then you really have to watch it. You have to cover it with, you really have to cover it with plastic, like seal it and let it all homogenize. I'm still going to cover this with plastic. I think that's always a good idea. Okay, and you can address these little seams. That, and just do a little bit of sculpting. All right. Now I'm going to take a sponge to that. Let me clean up this one. There, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to go grab a sponge. All right, so I have my mud tool sponge again because of the clay I'm using. And we're just going to smooth everything out. Now I'll finesse this a little bit more, but I'm not going to take this off and set it on its pedestal yet because that's just too soft. You can see here that it's going up a little bit. There. All right. Nice. So what I'm going to do is put a button here and here. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm just going to make a couple of buttons. This is a stamp that I hand carved. I'll just put one there, one there. And then I'm going to cover it with plastic. Okay, and I have my round cookie cutter. It's very small. It's part of a small cookie cutter kit, which I can leave a link. And I'm just going to cut a couple of buttons out. And there we go. All right. Okay, so I want my button to go right about there. I'm just going to wet the back of it. Oops, almost dropped it. And just put it here and give it a little push and then take it off so I can see where to score. Score the button. Okay, put some water here, water there, and apply the button. It's just a nice little design feature. It doesn't do anything. Okay, there. Let's do the other side. Okay. Get the water and the air out from behind the button. And there we go. Nice. All right, so then I'll just spend some time doing the last little bits of cleanup, and I'm going to let this sit here for a bit so that this foot gets leather hard. Okay. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and could follow along. By all means, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Like and subscribe, of course, and hit the notification bell if you would like more of my uploads. So this particular bowl just came out of the kiln not too long ago, and it was done with 3 coats of Spectrum Pearl White, and that's it. Okay, so that's what Pearl White does on this particular clay. I didn't do a glaze along with the tutorial. Truthfully, I didn't like the way it turned out. Anyway, so yeah, please leave your comments and I'll get back to you. I guess that's it. And thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you make some. Hey, and if you like, go to my website, www.audreylynnberm.com, and if you sign up for my, well, not if you sign up for my mailing list, you don't have to, but you can send me an email through there if you would like to show me your pedestal bowl. Okay, guys. Peace out.